A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee, on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
It is the Mason Crosby Show, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tommy Wurtson for Mitch Thunder Nellis, joined, of course, by the Packers' all-time leading scorer, Mr. Mason Crosby. How was the Labor Day weekend, my friend?
It was a great weekend, fun-filled weekend. We had a lot going on. I hope everybody stayed safe, had a good one out there, and I mean, the positive here, too, is that this is week one for the NFL season now. I mean, what just happened? And how many games did you watch this weekend? I mean, I was just like, Molly, I don't want to get off this couch. You're going to have to force me off this couch. There were a couple times, I'd get up and I'd pace and walk around just, to get a little activity. But, I mean, I had Premier League soccer on Saturday morning.
Didn't
I know
watch
that.
No.
Gross. Mm-hmm. But I'm up at 6:30 crushing Premier League. And then it's just like it rolls all the way up till 11 o'clock, Texas OSU. I mean, this was just a weekend full. And then we ended with the amazing North Carolina game last night. So, I mean, Belichick, I like this meme, and I'm sure you saw it, Tommy, that I think he was 41 when his girlfriend, is it Jordan?
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
When she was 7. So, it was just kind of, was that fitting? I don't know what happened there, but I mean, it just feels like the world aligned for that meme to just be out there in the universe.
I don't even know if that's true on the math, but it just made so much sense.
I don't either,
right?
But I love it. I'm in for it.
I think he's 73, right? And she's 24, 25, so it's close enough where it makes sense. But
exactly.
I don't even.
We don't do math on the Mason Crosby show, so
no.
we'll just go ahead and just accept that as true.
We'll accept math as truth, yes, on this show. Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Great show today. We got to talk Packers. Game week is here. Week 1, Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions this Sunday. Going to be an awesome one to watch. Micah Parsons practicing for the first time with Green Bay yesterday. Dominique Yates was at practice yesterday. He will join the show at 10 o'clock today with Mason Crosby, and Mitch Nellis will be jumping on around that time too. But Mason, what did it look like? What does it feel like now that you saw Parsons in the Packer jersey? He was wearing the number 1. He's wearing the G. You talk about that G all the time.
That G,
and now it's true. It is here. It is no hyperbole. Micah Parsons, a member of the Green Bay Packers.
I want to go all in on oh my God, it just feels natural, normal, but it doesn't. There is something weird when you see a guy that you've just gotten so accustomed to in a certain jersey, the colors, all the things. And then it's just all right, that's just it's a little out of sorts. And, you kind of have to get used to it.
It's
and
Green Bay.
I do feel like the
jersey.
number 1 is always a little weird, right? It's almost a little confusing at first. You're all right, 1, it feels right for him, but you're just kind of all right, I got to get used to seeing this one jersey running around. And then he's just a beast. You know, I was just happy he could walk on the field. With everything we've been hearing, I'm just can this guy even walk anymore? Because apparently his back is just crumbling and falling apart.
Well, and that was some of the reporting we heard yesterday, right? Adam Schefter was kind of the first guy talking about it. His L4, L5, a little bit banged up, might need the epidural for week 1. And then
that thing up, bro. I mean, just go. Let's go. You're getting $47 million. That needle's in there.
Well, also, Mason, what can't be good for back pain is every single drill he was doing yesterday with the defensive line. So
yeah, I mean the bag drill where he fires off and then the one I think you showed me too is I think you posted it. You're man, look at his quickness compared to some of these other guys. I mean, just to be able to explode and change direction. I mean, his back looked like it was doing okay. Like,
I didn't think that I saw the report, and also like Andy Herman, Pack-A-Day Radio on right before this show here on the Fan. He kind of had brought something up too, that there's no way the Packers, like if this is really anything.
You knew he has back issues coming through camp. Like they keep talking, like he's been on an injury report for his back. You are getting MRIs. You're getting, you have all the specialists there. You are not signing and making a trade unless you feel like, okay, this might be, he might have to get in a shot or get some, take some medicine. He might have to finish his little medicine thing. I can't tell you how many times I had, had like the anti-inflammatory, like the pack, just to like calm something down. I mean, it's a 5-day process. Honestly, you're like, okay, is this working? Like day 3 or 4, you're like, all right, is this working? And by day 5, you're like, oh man, that stuff's pretty awesome. I feel a lot better.
The air quotes around anti-inflammatory, the NFL is sweating as you are saying that right now.
Wait, did I air quote that?
You tried to, you stopped it right at the end. But whatever it takes to get him on the field in some capacity. And we'll open it up. Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250. If you want to join the program, be a part of the Mason Crosby Show. You can also comment on the YouTube chat, youtube.com/@thefan-Milwaukee if you want to come watch the show as opposed to listen to it. But what role are you expecting from Micah Parsons with the Green Bay Packers in week 1 specifically, right? Brewers have taught us everything, that you look at games one day at a time, one week at a time in the NFL season, if you will. I was talking about this earlier with Andy Mason. Like if he's just in on every third down, like
he's
everything
else
is gravy after that in week 1 specifically, right? Do you expect his role to be really much more than that?
It's going to depend. And I think they're going to kind of just see how he's moving, how his body is, like what he looks like throughout the week. I mean, that was Monday yesterday and what he was doing, right? Like he was, which again, I think sometimes on Monday that you come out of that break, you're excited. Like there's a little bit of extra juice. And then you realize you're like, all right, maybe I went a little too hard on a Monday leading, whenever we have a full week of work still to go. But, I think they're going to, kind of monitor where he's at. But yes, I think if week 1 here against the Lions, if he is just unleashed on third downs and just let him do what he does best, as he's still, his role, he's not going to have to learn every little nuance of this defense. And they're going to put him in fairly simple situations, I would guess, early and often. But I think as he's kind of getting his feet under him, getting comfortable with Hafley's kind of scheme and what he's trying to do, you just unleash him on third down. Just let him come in, do his thing. Because then, like we said, then that's when Rashawn Gary eats. That's when you're getting Van Ness on the interior, and he's going to get some pressure and do some things. So if you bring Micah Parsons in on third down, let him rush the passer, you're going to have to account 2 guys for him, just because he's Micah Parsons, and now it opens up the field for everybody else.
It's the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz in for Mitch Thunder Nellis here, 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan. Mason, you were a player. Wait, by the way, is tomorrow your birthday? Is that what it is?
Tomorrow's my birthday.
Tomorrow's your birthday. Okay, so
3rd.
When you were 44, I believe is when Khalil Mack got traded to the to the Chicago Bears, right? Tomorrow's
exactly.
50. Tomorrow's the big
Benjamin.
50.
Benjamin Button. I'm going backwards with my age.
But you played in that game where Khalil Mack was a member of the Chicago Bears for the very first time. And
crazy, did he have a pick six?
Crazy game. That's when Aaron took all those anti-inflammatories and was able to come back in the middle of the game.
Exactly.
But just something like that. And it's a very comparable trade because on September 1st is when Khalil Mack got traded. Yep. And just a few days earlier this year is when Micah Parsons gets traded. And I'm not expecting that level of a game from Micah in his first game as a member of the Green Bay Packers. But that's another thing to look at, is look at how much he could wreck the game in a very limited time, even just in week 1 for Green Bay. What was it like watching Khalil Mack in halftime adjustments that are going on, because that guy was just having a monster game and he'd been with the team for a week at the time.
Luckily, it was he was on the Bears. So,
right.
we knew we had a chance to still, win any game against the Bears.
Right.
Just like crazy stuff happened. So, joking aside though, like, yes, it was just like, oh gosh,
yeah,
we're going to have to deal with this guy for the next, 4 years. Like, it's going to be a disaster. It's going to be tough. We're going to have to game plan everything. And again, you give us, the Packers credit in that game, like adjusting at halftime, Aaron coming back in and being able to do what we did in that game was exceptional. I look at Micah Parsons. Here's something we didn't talk enough about though last week. I mean, this defense was a top 10 defense in all categories, right?
Yeah.
Top 5 in a lot of categories. Like, this is a good defense, honestly, a great defense already. And so you're adding a piece that can just only like take it to another level. And now it again, I talk about Micah Parsons. He can be a game changer and a disruptor, but he can also free up so many other spots on that defense to go and be disruptive and make, big plays. You're just going to have to account for him in all those situations. Anytime he's on the field, Jared Goff, there's no way he's not like knowing when Micah's on the field and like what kind of, he's going to adjust his protection or do different things. Do they get out of, certain pass plays to run the ball because Micah is on the field? Like, you're going to have to make adjustments, and that is good for our defense, because if the offense is scrambling, if they're having to adjust all the time, they don't get in a rhythm, and then that's when you have success. So I think Micah Parsons being on the field, and especially this week, going against the Lions team. We talked about this. Are you more excited now that they're playing the Lions, now that Micah's there? Because I know you and Mitch, you're like, I don't know if I want to play like the best teams early, but I think this is the best possible situation. You add a piece. You haven't seen him in a game. You don't know what's going to happen. If he's the Micah Parsons that we expect him to be, this could be awesome for this Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point that you bring up, is that Micah Parsons now has 0 film as a member of the Green Bay Packers for Detroit ahead of this trade.
Who knows what they're going to do with him.
They can put him in a lot of different places.
They could stand him up as a linebacker and like bring him, just have him go wherever he wants to go.
Completely understood. What it really makes me feel stronger and better about with Green Bay heading, gearing up to play Detroit this weekend is that a lot of people have concerns about the defensive backs, right? And not really the safety game, but corners, specifically the corners, right? Nate Hobbs has been injured most of camp. Is Keyshawn Nixon ready to take a jump as a number 1? Is Javon Bullard going to play nickel more this year, or is he going to rotate in with Evan Williams at safety? You know what really helps the DBs out is an elite pass rush. Like, that is something that can absolutely benefit everyone who's not even involved with the sack or with the pressure or with the hurry. The DBs get a lot more help if you get to the quarterback sooner. And if Micah Parsons is able to do that on a consistent basis, and with the game planning for Micah Parsons helping guys like Rashawn Gary or other interior guys on the line, like, that is where I get a lot more comfort, is that it will enhance everyone else on the field, because Micah Parsons has to be priority number 1. Before that, who was priority number 1 on the defense? Was it Cooper? Was it Gary? I mean, now there is a hands down, you have to know where this guy is, and we will make sure that everyone knows where he is on the offensive side, because you need to game plan for a guy like that.
Yeah, I talked about this a little bit last week, where you have guys like Nate Hobbs, you have Keyshawn Nixon that are physical corners. Like, they want to put their hands on and kind of do the work early, and then use some of their speed and stuff, in later in the down. And if you have a good pass rush, if you have an effective pass rusher like Micah Parsons, if he frees up that defensive front to do more with 4, now you can press cover on the outside and just keep those guys from like quick game and getting open early. Like, it's just going to open up what Hafley can do on the back end with that secondary as well. Because yes, as of right now, we don't know what Nate Hobbs is going to be like, because he's been injured. He's coming off, off that. Like, did he practice yesterday?
I didn't see any reports on it. So,
I mean, you got to assume he's going to be on the field, but like, if he's not, you got Valentine, you got, you have guys. Bo Melton's going to get some looks, right? He's probably going to play. Yeah. He probably might play in some of that nickel stuff. You got Bullard, you can bring into, into slot, cover the slot and do some different things as well. So, I mean, I don't worry about the secondary until we see them on game day. And if Micah Parsons, if this D front is improved and they do their thing and they're still not able to, then we start kind of saying like, all right, maybe we don't have what we thought we had. But I
can't even do that. For the
you
first
talked about
2 weeks,
Keyshawn Nixon
right?
though, like stepping into that role, like he was in that role last year, right? I mean, Jair barely played, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, he was a starting corner in this league for most of the year last year. So
well, now he's going to
be all right.
I mean, who's guarding Amon-Ra? Is Nate guarding Amon-Ra or is Keyshawn guarding him week 1?
I would put Keyshawn on him. Like I would, just because Nate's not been healthy. Like I would try to protect Nate Hobbs just to make sure that he's coming back from this injury as the best he can. And
now
you put Keyshawn on Amon-Ra again. He's a great route runner, so that's going to be tough to say like, all right, let's press cover him, because I think if he gets loose, then that quick game comes, and then Micah Parsons becomes like a non-issue, and that's what Jared Goff. That's what this Lions team is going to come in with. They're going to try to run the ball, and they're going to try to quick game us. They're going to try to do bubble screens, quick slants. Like they're going to try to get the ball in their playmakers' hands really fast, so that our defensive front can't even get to the quarterback. That's why you have to get them in third and long situations. You got to get them in situations that you can go and affect the quarterback, because if Goff's back there, if he's got to throw on the move, and if you flush him out of the pocket, he's not going to beat you with his legs. So that's where we can go and dominate this game. I had an interesting, and I was trying to find it, and I don't know if you remember any of the names, but I was thinking of some great corners. It's like Darrelle Revis.
Oh yeah.
Revis Island, all that. I remember that Jets team. It wasn't just Revis that was great. That Jets defense was unbelievable. And I got to assume they had a great pass rush, because he loved just man-to-man. He loved putting his hands on guys early and like trying to keep them at the line. So, I mean, you look at probably most good corners that have ever come through the league, like the pass rush is always a part of that. It always plays a huge factor into it.
It should, and it will. I think we'll keep the conversation going with Micah Parsons. The Green Bay Packers, week 1 is near. It is maybe here. Thursday we got some action, right?
And Friday, right? Brazil Friday.
Right, I know. I thank you so much that the Green Bay Packers are not in Brazil this year. Like, no one wanted to see that again. Like, I don't need Jordan Love's knee doing weird things, or Micah Parsons' back hurts because they're playing on a field.
American football players are not made. They're not meant to play on soccer pitches.
Okay.
It's just not. Right. That's not how it's just not supposed to be that way.
Confirmed. Yeah. London games stink to Mason Crosby. Right there. That's what that means.
Tottenham had a plan, right? Like theirs is a joke too, because they bring in turf, and you know how we feel about grass and turf.
We're
on this
pro-grass show.
Pro-grass. Yeah, so they bring in turf for the football games, it was a joke, because when we played the Giants, got towards ACL, because they literally had tracks, and they just like put turf on these tracks, and the guy literally just like got stuck in it and tore his knee up. So don't get me going on turf and grass. It's too early in the year. I'm not even there yet. Packers play on grass. That's what we do.
Yes, we have plenty of grass talk later on.
And anti-inflammatory
and grass. If you've been following the Mason Crosby show as well, shout out my mother here, had hooked it up with some smelling salts.
Gosh.
Like we got
yeah.
Yes.
That looks like a prescription bottle.
Man.
Did she get those from her doctor? I mean, that
Yes.
thing is ready to go.
Football Talk on the Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much these days, but if you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday on CBS and Paramount Plus all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. More Micah Parsons talk, more Green Bay Packers talk coming up next. And I got to talk to HR because I just hit smelling salts on the air. Probably.
Yeah, you do.
It's the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz in for Mitch Thunder Nellis, joined by the Packers' all-time leading scorer, of course, Mason Crosby.
Yes, sir.
Country,
we're here and we're live. Yeah.
Country Mondays, like we can push it back after a Labor Day. What'd you do on the off day yesterday?
Yeah, holiday
Mace?
doesn't even count. Well, so, gosh, I don't know if I even want to tell you this because you're gonna, you already think I'm bougie and like, have this elitist, lifestyle.
What Saudi prince did you have dinner with yesterday, Mason?
I'm not name dropping.
Okay,
no. Okay. We joined a boat club, here in outside of Nashville. So we went boating yesterday morning.
Land of 1,000 lakes, Nashville, right?
No, there's a couple. So Percy Priest, we went over there and. So we actually joined. So they had an awesome deal, like half off initiation, no dues till April. I was like, jump on this.
Okay.
Let's just see what it is. Not ready to buy a boat by any means. We just don't have the time or want to do that. So we're like, let's see if we're boat people.
Okay.
And apparently my kids are boat people. Yeah. Like we go out Sunday evening and I'm like, there's no way they're going to want to go Monday morning. The girls wake up Monday morning and they're like, Dad, we're going to the lake, right? I'm like, okay. So we're out on the lake for half the day, just cruising around. It was nice. My parents got in, they're going to be here for the week,
nice.
Around my birthday and stuff. My dad had some work stuff. So yeah, it was nice. It was, it was a beautiful day. Nice to have the day off and just, enjoy a holiday. I love a good holiday. Whatever it is,
celebrating work.
Let's just celebrate,
right? Like we
celebrate what we do every day.
And I did not, I hand up. Like I didn't even expect to get the day off. I love it. Thank you to Odyssey for hooking it up there with the day off. That was awesome. Watched a little bit of Brewers baseball. That didn't go great. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But Micah Parsons, the Green Bay Packers do not have days off on Labor Day. He was in uniform yesterday for Green Bay. I still don't feel like it's real. I still can't wrap my head around it. And honestly, it feels like, Mason, that there is now a much bigger buzz around this football season than there was a week ago, with sure. Micah Parsons now being
national
added.
Media has jumped on board, right? Like they're just like, oh my gosh, you're seeing more green and gold on all the stations than you did pretty much the whole offseason, right? They were just how are there all these question marks on this team, and now it's like, all right, this is the team. Like, watch out for the Green Bay Packers. They're coming for you. I mean, it's even like Jordan Love, trips and falls, doing a little boot out, like extending a play. And, it's just, we're just laughing about it now. It's just, that's funny. Like, had that happened a month ago, they're like, well, it's like Jordan Love can't even stay on his feet. Like, how is this team going to even compete in the National Football League? The great part, too, is, right, Molly said this last week. We talked a little bit with this trade. Are the Dallas Cowboys even a football team anymore?
Oh,
I mean, it's like it's like they just traded. It's like now the Packers are getting all the attention, and now it's like the Cowboys are trying. They're trying to still talk about them on TV, but it's like, are they like? Do we know anyone on that defense now? It's like
Kenny,
yes, and Kenny,
they just,
which is a Packer. Yeah,
they
exactly.
Did you not see that they had an extension the next day?
They extended a guy. Yeah,
Deron Bland just got $92 million from him the next day. Like,
that's crazy.
Terrible
That's such
timing.
a Jerry Jones thing.
Oh man, just why? Like, shout out to Deron Bland. You got 90 more million than you were gonna have before.
I will say though, it's like, let's take it with a little cautiously optimistic. Parsons looks like he's moving all right. Like, obviously the Packers did their due diligence. They're uber conservative by nature. Obviously this trade was like a very extreme thing that they don't always do, but because they made such a big move, they're going to do all the due diligence, make sure that he's healthy and ready to go. But there is a concern. It's like, why were they willing to move on from Micah? Is this back thing something we're going to have to monitor and look at? So we will be here for it. Let's hope that he comes into this first game, he plays, as many reps as they feel confident and comfortable with, and has a solid game. And then we're like, all right, the back stuff it's a non-issue. Like if they have to do something to kind of keep him moving, that's what they'll do. But I think it's I just can't imagine the Packers signing a contract, making a move like this without doing the deepest due diligence they possibly could.
It's the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz in for Mitch Thunder Nellis will join the show about a half hour again from now. Presented by Verizon, official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. And we were talking about the other players, the defense around Micah Parsons and what that can do just by having him on the team and the game plan that has to go into it. Rashawn Gary, your boy, RG, he talked a little bit about it after practice yesterday and really his expectations for week one with a guy like Parsons being added.
The player, the altitude for sure gonna help the team, and basically just our camaraderie.
When did you start to turn, you say that, full attention to the Lions, and was there at all a sense of urgency or added boost knowing that you were gonna open up with the rival?
Oh yeah, I really can't tell you when, but been watching the Lions for a while, a couple weeks back. So we really just been going off of tape from last year, just little nuances that we see in preseason this preseason that happened, but that's really it, man. But the Lions been on our mind for sure.
There is Rashawn Gary speaking to the media after practice yesterday. That audio courtesy of the Green Bay Packers. Mason, they brought up a point in there that talking about belief and what that might do for a locker room when there is a move made for a guy, and you didn't have anyone to this magnitude while you were on the team with Green Bay, but just making a move to kind of showcase, hey, we might be this piece away. Like, we have a very good team surrounded by Micah Parsons now, and a move like this for Micah Parsons assures you that's how we feel about everyone else on this defense.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, again, last year the defense was still great. I mean, they had a great defense last year. Lots of turnovers. Didn't get scored on a ton. They were a great defense. We do have to. We can't discount the fact that Kenny Clark won't be there in the middle of the field. Middle of that defensive line. So these other guys have to step up. You got to see some young guys take that next step and become that guy. So I expect the Lions to run straight at the center of our defense to start this thing off, right? Yeah. They're gonna test it early and often and just make sure, okay, well, all right, these guys are good. Devontae Wyatt had some sparks of really good football last year, so expect a big, another big jump from him. And then again, our linebackers. I mean, the linebackers for this Packers team are legitimate playmakers. I mean, if you got Edgerrin Cooper, we just aren't even talking about Quay Walker. Like he has a skill set that if it's unleashed the right way, it can be super disruptive and really good. So, and then, Isaiah McDuffie is just a solid linebacker and a great football player. So, I mean, you have that front seven that I think could be one of the better front sevens in the National Football League. Only time will tell, but kind of on paper, and the upside that can come from that is going to be apparent really, really soon, because the Lions, again, knowing Dan Campbell, knowing kind of who they are, they will go right at you right away and make you stop them. And then they'll adjust off of that, just because I think that's their mentality. There
and you brought it up then too, Devontae Wyatt, they have Colby Wooden in the middle there. Yeah, Carl Brooks is, I'm sure, going to get a lot more playing time as well on the, early rush downs. Is there now a higher expectation for an Edgerrin Cooper and a Quay Walker in the middle at the linebacker position to pick up a little bit for Kenny Clark? That even if Kenny Clark, who we went through his PFF grades, wasn't really anything massive changing on the defensive front, especially for run defense, but now, you have maybe the two most athletic maybe the best athletic linebacker duo in the NFL with Cooper and Walker. Are they going to be expected to take massive jumps on the run game now too?
Yeah, I think there's going to be an expectation for them to, just be very solid in their craft, right? Like, it's just like, don't overextend yourself. Don't try to, like, make up for anybody. Like, just do your job. Like, you see what you see, go make plays. Like, you're athletic enough. You can, again, this Lions front, they lost a really good offensive lineman this year who retired, right? So
Ragnow, right in the middle.
So they're kind of, also adjusting. You got to go out there and do your job. Like, you heard Rashawn Gary. Like, we're going to talk about, like, the hypotheticals and, like, how mindset might be, but when you're in that building and you're putting that work in, like he was saying, they've been looking at the Detroit Lions now for the last few weeks, and the Detroit Lions won't, just because they lost their coordinators, they're not going to be a completely different football team.
Sure,
you still have Gibbs, you still have
the personnel
Goff,
didn't change up a whole lot.
Same personnel, they're going to run, they're going to run the same type of plays. Like, there might be different offensive formations and looks, but you just got to go out there and play ball. And so, like, the mindset for these guys, Rashawn Gary hit it on the head. You go day to day. It's one ball game at a time. Like, this is a Brewers mindset. We've joked about all summer. I mean, that is the athlete mindset.
Yeah.
You're not going to get ahead of yourself. I still think Van Ness is going to see a lot of action in that interior defensive line as well, especially against, I think, in week 2 against the Commanders.
Yeah.
Like, go Thursday night. Like, I do think Detroit runs the ball a little bit better, but when you have a running quarterback like Jaden Daniels, I feel like that pass rush and being, like, a lot of movement and more disruptive makes his eyes look, get a little jumpy, and he's going to probably pull the ball down a little bit quicker than he normally would. And then that's when you have Quay and Edgerrin, probably Quay spying Jaden Daniels. So we'll talk more about that leading up to that game, like how that looks, but I'm excited to see how this defense comes out. But, let's shift focus a little bit, because we since Micah Parsons, it's like this defense, it's all that. But we need to see this offense come out and be productive. Like, Jordan Love, like, let's just, say what it is. He was hurt. He got hurt in that first game.
Oh, yeah.
His production, was just kind of, so throughout the season.
Banged up this camp, too.
But again, our defense, like, we can't discount. Like, they were really good. Packers defense was really good last year. I think they kept them in a lot of games. If that defense wasn't as good as it was, I don't know if Malik Willis comes in and can do what he did, right?
Yeah.
Like, if he had to carry that thing, if you couldn't just run the ball and depend on that defense, Malik Willis might not be at the tip of our tongues as, like, a potential starter in this league. So I think it's just going to be like, all right, what kind of offensive game plan? Can we get those tight ends, working, doing? I think if you can get both Musgraves and Kraft on the field and being productive in the pass game, as well as being good run blockers, that's going to be a huge step for this defense. Don't put so much on these wide receivers to have to make the big play, make the tough catch all the time. Like, let's get them into this flow. I remember Aaron always talking about that. He's like, I just wanted, first pass of the game, I just wanted a really solid, route, good completion. And when he had, Jordy Nelson, when he had those guys, again, Jordy was like a quarterback at the wide receiver position. So he'd see the defensive front, how they're lining up on him. Him and Aaron would give a little hand signal. He'd run a route, and it's like Aaron gets a completion. Now we're rolling. So let's get as much of that as possible. And I don't think that's bubble screens. I don't think it's all that. He needs to throw push the ball downfield a little bit, but it needs to just be a confident, good completion to start this thing off. And once you get that going, I think Jordan Love's confidence will just continue to grow.
It needs to grow exponentially this year, especially with being banged up last season. You have the training camp you're missing out on this year with another injury. And, of course, now your general manager going all in and bringing in another guy on the defensive side to help you out. It is because he has the faith that you can lead the offensive side already with the weapons for Jordan Love. It is the Mason Crosby Show. We are presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Lots more Packer talk still coming up on the show. Dominique Yates going to join us at 10 o'clock today. We'll get some calls on the other side and talk a little bit of Brewers baseball as well. The Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon on 1250 AM, 105.7 FM The Fan, and the free Odyssey app. It's the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Tommy Wirtz in for Mitch Thundernells for another segment real quick here. And the Packers' all-time leading scorer, Mr. Mason Crosby. Still remember that Micah Parsons is on Green Bay, right?
I'm watching him right now, just doing his thing. So he looks pretty quick.
He's so strong, man.
Isn't he isn't he the second fastest corner on our team? Isn't that what the stat is?
Like he's the same age as Bill Belichick's girlfriend, probably too.
God.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
I don't know anymore. I got John and Franklin, line one, joining us here on the Mason Crosby Show. John, good morning. How are we today, my friend?
Good morning. Doing pretty well. I'm still kind of in shock.
Mm-hmm.
Still kind of working through things.
That's right. It's game week now. Yep. Let's get this thing rolling.
John, thank you for helping make promos by claiming that you think that this is, very similar to a Reggie White move back in the day. Micah Parsons, a member of the Green Bay Packers. What do you want to talk about on the Mason Crosby Show, John?
Yeah, there's one thing filling out the roster. There's another bringing in somebody with rare talent that can wreck a game individually. Not to speak of the other talent that's on the team. So, it's hard not to have expectations through the roof. You talked a little bit about what what a fan expects, especially out of this first game, out of the team and Micah. And what I expect is the Green Bay Packers to take the field with a game plan and with execution that is enough to defeat the Detroit Lions. Because if they do that, they're planting their flag.
Yeah,
I love it.
And I'm not saying that Micah's got to have 12 sacks. You're exactly right. They're going to come out running the ball. They're going to come out quick passes. They're not going to do deep drops and feed into letting Micah, wreck the game. They're going to try to avoid that. But with the limited snaps he has, if we can get a little bit of a lead, make them have to pass the ball. This should be very interesting. Without the trade, we would have hoped this was a measuring stick game and that we would be competitive. Well, Gutekunst and the front office stepped up, and I expect all the members of the team, including the offense, because they're gonna get more opportunities because of this move.
Yeah, for sure. John, thanks for the call. Have a good one, my man.
Yeah, appreciate you, John.
Thank you.
Well, what do you have to say to that, Mason?
Yeah,
because
we talked about pressure. Does this add pressure to any part of this team, right? Bringing a guy like Micah Parsons, and it doesn't again, you heard Rashawn Gary, you heard all that. You lost a leader and an anchor of that defense, regardless of his performance and all of that, and Kenny Clark. But I think it just brings freedom. There's so much freedom. If you feel pressure because you have an amazing talent on the other side of the ball, like Micah Parsons isn't trying to. He played for the Dallas Cowboys. It's like he's not coming in and being like, oh gosh, I expect all y'all to do this, do that, whatever. It's like it was Jerry Jones's world down there. Like he was doing his thing. So I think it just frees up everybody. And if I'm Matt LaFleur, I'm just saying all right, what can I do to just keep our offense on the field or score as many points as possible to unleash this defense on other teams? I think of the 2011 year, right? We the teams had to get in 2-minute offense at the start of the second half most games. So then that just freed up our defense to go. We kind of had a bend, don't break. We were getting a ton of turnovers, just allowing the offense to get back on the field and do their thing. If this team does that, this offense, the only pressure that comes on them is how do you execute whenever this defense gets you that ball back? Because I think that was probably an issue at times last year, right? Tons of turnovers, and then this offense just wasn't lighting up the scoreboard,
right?
Because it's all right, they were getting opportunities, but that is why they won a lot of games, because this defense just got that ball back over and over again. And you got to think there's going to be a step in the right direction for this offense. If I'm Coach LaFleur, you were already probably pretty excited about this year, but now you're just all right, now this opens up the offensive playbook. We can be more aggressive across the 50 on fourth downs. Just feeling okay, they're gonna, if we can score points, we're going to get these teams in passing situations, and that just plays right into our weapons on the defensive side of the ball.
It's the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz in for Mitch Thunder Nellis for the next 10 minutes or so here. Dominique Yates going to join us at the top of the hour. Was at Packers practice. Can help talk a little bit more about how it was seeing Micah Parsons with that number 1 with the green and gold on for Green Bay for the first time yesterday. And Mason, you talk about it too with sending that message in week 1, and John and Franklin brought it up. You remember, like, this is a team that was a fingertip away from not winning a division game last season, right?
Yeah, exactly.
1-5, you go 0-2 against Detroit, you go 0-2 against Minnesota, and obviously that streak, you lose to the Bears, and that's over and gone with now. This is a message you can send across not just the NFL, but in a more, tight-knit group with that NFC North. And I think that this maybe has some benefit to Green Bay with bringing in Micah later, as we talked about, saying that there is no plan for Micah Parsons. You can guess where he's going to be.
For sure.
But everything is now speculation. We've seen him line up in the middle. We've seen him line up as a 3-tech. You see him on the edge. You see him as an off-ball linebacker. But now you brought it up early in the show. I am a little more excited to play Detroit in week 1. But now it feels like, Mason, you have to send that message in week 1 because of how poor Green Bay was last year against the NFC North.
No, I totally agree. I mean, the Packers need to take the North back, right? Like that's the expectation. You go and you take care of your division, you win the North, and then let the chips fall where they may. Obviously you want to go get that 1 seed, but you win the North. You have to take care of this division. The team we're not talking a ton about, and obviously this week 1, we're going to talk about Detroit, but as I was just sitting here thinking, I'm like, the team we haven't heard a ton of from is the Minnesota Vikings, right? And if you think about it, I mean, they were a good team last year. They went to they had to play a weird game, lose to LA out there in Arizona, but I think this Minnesota Vikings team is going to be the team to be reckoned with, that the Packers are going to have to get past here in this division. The Lions are going to be good. They're going to be good. But again, I think getting them early here is really good for this Packers team. I think they're going to they have Hutchinson coming back healthy. They have like all that. That's why I think you have to run the ball effectively. You got to play this as great punt game. You got a good punter there in Green Bay. You got to play it in a mindset of we're going to play a field position battle early and then try to open this thing up, second quarter, third quarter, come out of half. Go back to like where these Packers teams have been successful, where you score right before half, you defer, you get the ball back and you score again, and you just flip that score right around halftime. And then you just have relentless defense and make the other team pass the ball. If this Packers team can get into that rhythm, that they're going to be dangerous all year. And that has to be a mindset. I know that was when our teams were rolling with Aaron. That's why he loved deferring. He would get so mad if we'd win the toss and we receive the ball. He's like, yeah, I want to go out there and score, but I'd rather shut them out, get an extra possession around halftime. We get the ball lost at the end of half, and then you come back out and you score again. And it's tough whenever you're that effective, and that's going to be the recipe for success.
And you said the word there that I really liked, and that was rhythm, right? And that last year, it felt like the Packers, they could find it for a little bit. Is it really rhythm if it's not sustained for quite some time? And they had zero rhythm against the NFC North specifically last season. So now
they felt like they were chasing at times. Yes. Those NFC North teams.
If you can find that rhythm earlier, and that should help with a healthier Jordan Love and assuring up the defense with an all-pro caliber player like Micah Parsons, the Packers have to find that rhythm this year. Who do you think they point to find that rhythm more? Is it Jordan Love, or is it someone else on the offense? Like, is there a guy like, did Aaron always go to Devontae?
I love my offenve line.
Well,
so it's
right. Yeah.
It's going to be Josh Jacobs in that offensive line. I mean, that's where the rhythm starts, is you just get that. And the surprising part is with how well they ran the ball last year, their play action stuff wasn't actually that great, right?
Sure.
And I don't know if that was because of drops, because of just some of the receiver inconsistency, throughout the year. but it was like, I think you just have to lean into Josh Jacobs. That offensive line should be able to run the ball well. And then it's like, even if you're not, like, you got to run the ball and then you got to do play action off of it. I do think, like, again, against familiar opponents last year in the NFC North, it felt like we were chasing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Packers did a great against unfamiliar teams, right? I mean, they beat the Texans, who had a great defense.
Sure, yeah.
They beat,
AFC South, they were all over last year.
It was just like unfamiliar opponents. Seemed like we schemed up and LaFleur had like a better plan. It's almost like I think sometimes whenever it's so familiar, you try to create some different things. And then, like you said, that rhythm gets lost. Like, it's like, nope, like, just make them stop you. Control the narrative. I think that's a big piece to it also, right? Like, why Lions have been successful for the last 2 years is they are making teams play to them, not trying to play to other teams. Like, you have to play your game and make other teams adjust to you. Don't adjust to them. Don't try to make stuff up. Be consistent. Find that rhythm. And it starts up front. It starts with that offensive line and Josh Jacobs. Football can be simple, right? It's like, run the ball well, get after the passer on defense, and just play that field position battle. It's not that complicated. It's hard, but it's not complicated.
Sure.
And that was always like the funniest thing. It was like that's the simplest way you can put it. And we talk about that all the time inside the locker room. It's hard, but it's not complicated, right? And it's like, just do the hard work, but don't overcomplicate things.
Yeah, makes sense. Don't miss a beat. Find the rhythm, right? That's how you
feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme.
All right, Gloria Stefan about to pop out right here and help us out here. Packers.
I was going more Cool Runnings.
Oh yeah, right. We got a bobsled team now.
That's
yeah,
right.
I got it. Packers Lions week 1 this Sunday. Will Micah Parsons be available to play for Green Bay? I don't know who wrote that in the promo. Come on, he's got to be there.
Will he be? Let's
see what Camille Davis of the Pack a Day podcast thinks this morning at 11:40. Wait, is she joining? No, Thunder. Middays with Thunder launching today for 3 hours. It is all local programming now. All week and more so here on The Fan, live now from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Of course, Wisconsin Sports Daily going to join up from 2 to 5 as well today. It's all Packers, all Micah Parsons. Game week. It is here. Cannot wait. We'll have the coverage for you all week long, 12:50 a.m. and 105.7 FM, The Fan. Dominique Yates of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel is going to join the show on the other side of things. He was at practice, talk a little bit about what he saw from the Green Bay Packers, Micah Parsons, Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur, Brian Gutekunst. I'm sure all of them in the know at some point or another with the Green Bay Packers heading into week 1 against Detroit. Whew.
It's finally here.
I mean, it's finally
we're
here.
2 days away from
football,
live football.
From like real football,
from
not that college stuff that we had to watch over the last couple of days.
I mean, are we going to break now, or do we want to talk about the Brewers for like 2 minutes before? What are you feeling?
Well, we'll get to the Brewers. We
didn't even talk about them.
We didn't talk about them.
Why are the Brewers not important to us anymore?
The Brewers are important. They're very important.
I'm wearing the shirt.
Yeah, I have a shirt on too. Look, Milwaukee. Does it say Milwaukee? I don't even know where it is on there. It's the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Mitch Thunder Nellis and Dominique Yates will be back on the program on the other side. Live from the 12:50 a.m. 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Let's get to Dominique Yates next.
Yeah, buddy.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee, on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
Mace, you want me to do it? Should I reintroduce myself?
Yeah, bring us
to the
back.
Millions and millions of Mason Crosby fans. My name is Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Thank you to Tommy Wirtz for holding down the first hour. This might become a pattern as Middays with Thunder, 11 to 2, is kicking off today for the unforeseeable future. Can you see the future? Yeah, we don't.
I wish we could.
Wouldn't that be amazing? But he is Mason. Amazing shirt, by the way. For those of you on YouTube at the Fan Milwaukee, beers and burgers and pancakes and beer.
And friendship and magic.
Oh, and friendship and magic.
Yeah.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Magical. The Brewers are magical.
I'm wearing my green and gold today. I
like that.
Which is not me. I mean, you know me. I'm a basketball guy.
I know.
But it's here.
We're just swapping roles. Yeah.
I can't believe it's here. I
like it to build up. I don't count Tuesday yet. Wednesday,
Tuesday still human Tuesday.
Yeah, we're still it was weird yesterday not having work. I've always worked on Labor Day.
Yeah.
So it's always there in the building doing stuff. We never could plan for Labor Day to be a holiday for during Packer season. So it was just kind of weird. Yeah, being out. We were out at the lake. It was nice. But yeah, I was. There's always that moment when the season starts here. These last couple of years where you're like, man, I did that for a long time. It's kind of weird just having some freedom.
I know every Tuesday is Human Tuesday, but the Tuesday after Labor Day, does that kind of feel like the last Human Tuesday before you really jump into it?
It's the first real Human Tuesday. Yeah,
that makes sense.
This is the first Human Tuesday because Human Tuesday only exists during the season. Yeah. I don't know in the off season if I was allowed to have human days.
Is any player thinking about football today, or is everyone getting like their last golfing in, their last fishing in, their last video games in, like their last family
I think
time?
you're just kind of getting all your ducks in a row. Yeah. As this season is just about to get underway and they're about to just be locked in now for the next 18 weeks, right? Or plus, like you don't have more than that. But yeah, this is like that last real kind of day to get everything ready to roll before you're in that building nonstop for the next 20 plus weeks.
This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're in the Fan Studios powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And joining us now on the Fan Guest Hotline powered by Gruber Law, he is from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, Dominique Yates. Dominique, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
What's up? Here you were at practice yesterday. So, everything, on the tip of our tongues, like in our minds is Micah Parsons. Like what did you see? How did it feel? Like, did he have a cane? Was he like walking around? Is his back all right?
Full body brace.
Exactly. Was that AI we saw yesterday or was that real? So just let us know what we experienced and what we saw from Micah Parsons yesterday.
That was the really funny thing. Just like all of the media, I was tweeting out videos like Mason Crosby's here. He's dressed out. He's ready for practice. And everyone's like, oh, I guess it's real. Like it really happened.
It's real.
Go to bed and, it was just like a dream. So, yeah, he was out there. He was active. He went through stretch. And obviously the media, we only get a certain portion of open practice.
Just individual stuff.
Basically saw the individual stuff, but he went through every drill with the defensive line and, they were doing some competitions, hitting the sled and trying to touch DeMarcus Covington's hands first as they were, practicing their get off and everything in that regard. From what I saw, he looked fine. His first step was still really good. He was aggressive hitting the sled. He was just, again, very active out there. So it was kind of fascinating to see. And you could feel not only is it game week, but just seeing him out on the field, it kind of brings even more energy and buzz with the rest of the players. So, you can definitely tell Micah's here and he's making an impact already.
Yeah, Dominique, we talked about this, pressure versus is it kind of freeing for some of these players? And I mean, you got to think for like Jordan Love and like that offense. I mean, it has to free them up because now the attention's off of them, right? I mean, we saw practice. I think we saw Jordan kind of have that little trip or whatever. They showed a couple clips of him, but it's like it is all about Micah Parsons at the moment. So now this offense, these other guys can just go to work, do their thing. Micah's taking a lot of the attention, and I think they're going to come out here and surprise some teams. Like, what did it look like? Does Jordan with his thumb, all of that, like, is he throwing the ball well? Do you feel like he looks like he's healthy and ready to go for this week 1?
Yeah, he looks fine. He seems like he said early on having the brace on his hand, covering, protecting the thumb. It was a little awkward at first, but he's already been taking snaps under center. He's been in shotgun. He's been going through all the drills per normal. So they've been able to kind of ramp up his practice. They started a little bit slower with 7-on-7, with the joint practices, with the Seahawks, just trying to get him just a feel of throwing to receivers. But over the past, week or so, they've ramped that up. So he seems to be moving well. And Mason, you made a great point. It really does take off a lot of pressure because big picture, I think that this team will go as far as Jordan Love takes them.
For sure.
But it's not all on him anymore because of Micah Parsons. So if the defense is rolling and playing dominant, we saw it last year with the Eagles. It wasn't all on Jalen Hurts. And for the Packers, it gives them the opportunity to do what they're really strong at, is run the ball with Josh Jacobs. They beefed up the offensive line, moving Elton Jenkins at center, adding in Aaron Banks. So they really designed that O-line for Josh Jacobs to run the ball. So you can go to a ground and pound physical style game and really manage the clock and manage the game you want to. And you feel good about that because you have one of the best defensive players in the league right there rushing the passer, disrupting things. And he has great teammates around him. So obviously they still have to step up and perform. But as far as that added huge pressure, it definitely takes some of that off.
Nice. We got Dominic Yates from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel joining the Mason Crosby show. I want to, let's talk about the receivers a little bit. Jaden Reed coming out of the boot. He has the Jones fracture in his foot. How did he look moving around? What's the expectation there in Green Bay for him to be a full-time participant in this upcoming game, or is he going to be limited a little bit as well? What's your feel there?
It'll be interesting to see, and I'll get a better sense of that Wednesday and Thursday when they get into some practice. But, I mean, you can see that there is a slight limp. I mean, that's a painful injury, so I'm sure he's feeling pain every step he takes, every route he moves. So that's something that I'm curious to see how much they will use him. So that's going to be fascinating. But honestly, with the receivers going into week 1, I feel the coaches should feel good about what Matthew Golden has done up to this point to say, okay, he's a starter. Let's see what he can do. Also, Romeo Doubs and some of the guys around him. So I don't know how much they'll use Jaden Reed out there, especially in punt return. I wonder if he will be the punt returner. I don't think he should be. That's just my opinion.
Definitely shouldn't be, yeah.
So
Don't risk that early here, at least.
Yeah, so I'll be curious to see how they'll manage him in the game. But again, you might not have to put as much pressure on him to be out there and play a full-fledged game.
For sure. I mean, I can see this team going with a lot of 2 tight end sets. I mean, LaFleur showed he likes that, and with how they run the ball. So, I said it earlier on the show. I mean, you got to get Tucker Kraft and Musgraves involved also in the passing game. I think if those tight ends can be effective weapons for this team, like we talk about pressure and all that all the time in the football space, but if those two can get into that passing game, you can do play action. Have a lot of where they're showing block and then they're going in the flats, or the backside guys releasing down the field, and we can get those guys the ball. It's going to free up stuff for the offense. Like, do you feel like Musgraves is taking a step? Obviously, we know what Kraft has been able to do, but Musgraves is a deep threat. He is a receiving tight end. Do you feel like he is going to take a step and kind of be a guy that this Packers offense can depend on, to get the ball in his hands and make explosive plays for this offense?
I think as long as Musgraves stays healthy, he adds a whole new dynamic to this offense because of his ability to stretch the field, get down a seam, and he put so much pressure on a defense, and he made some spectacular catches in camp. There was one in particular. It was a kind of a freestyle play, if you will, where Jordan Love had to roll out. He threw a rocket, and it was coming near the sideline, and Musgrave just threw his hands out and caught it. Allegedly, I ducked and got out of the way. I don't know who said that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I didn't see video of that, but
yeah, hopefully there's no film because that pops up in the team meetings pretty quick.
Yes, it takes away all talk about me. I was an athlete growing up. It just went out the window. But his hands have been very consistent. So I just think that if he can stay on the field and stay healthy, I do want to see some of his blocking, see if he's improved in that, because that's another big way that they feel comfortable keeping you on the field. You have to be able to block as well. But as long as he stays healthy, man, that's just so much more of that 12 personnel that the Packers can be really good at that could change the game with him.
For sure. We got Dominique Yates on the Mason Crosby Show. He's with the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. You can catch him at Real D Yates on Twitter or X, whatever you like to call it. Let's go. Let's talk about this. It is game week 1, which is crazy.
Yes, it is.
Right? We got 2 days until real NFL football is coming. But the Packers are playing the Lions this weekend, and let's talk a little bit about this Lions team. Obviously, what expectations are with them. How this Packers team looks to match up, because they do have 2 new coordinators. Obviously, those guys have been in the building. Everybody's always, okay, you change coordinators, you expect everything to look, extremely different. But they are going to have Aiden Hutchinson back. They're going to have, they still have weapons on offense. So, how do you think this Packers team matches up personnel-wise to this Lions team, from past history from last year, but what do you think we can expect in this game on Sunday?
I think they match up well, and I mean they did last year. It's not like any of the games last season they were blowouts. They were down there to the end. I mean they were with every top tier team last year. The Packers were right there with the Eagles, the Vikings, and the Lions in every single game. So they match up well, and obviously adding Micah Parsons just changes that level, because now it's like, okay, you guys had a strong pass rush. Now we can match that as well. So as far as these Packers, the key for them, they just have to make sure they can stop the run. Losing Kenny Clark, that's going to be the big blow for them. So They feel good about pass rush. They feel good about the back end. Their linebackers are talented. Edgerrin Cooper, he has a chance to be a star. But if they can prove that they can slow down Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, and just make it difficult for Jared Goff, they definitely can win this game. So the run game is going to be where
offering
Wyatt, Carl Brooks, Warren Brinson, Nazir Stackhouse as the 2 rookies. What can they do? So Colby Wooden as well. So that's going to be the key. If they can stop that run, they can win this game.
Yeah, for sure. I see this Lions team just going straight at that interior defensive line, or early, just to test. All right, where do we stand at? Where is this defensive front? Can they stop us in that run game? And I talked about this. Like, football is hard, but it shouldn't be complicated, right? It's like you stop the run, you get good pass rush, you run the ball well. Like, these are easy recipes for success. Lions are probably going to come out running the ball, trying to quick game us so that you can't let that pass rush even get started. You don't want Micah Parsons to disrupt the game. So it is this defense's job to get them in 3rd and long situations, get them in passing down situations, which I think at times that was probably maybe a spot that they didn't do a great job at last year. I mean, they lost to the Lions on a 4th and short, where they got them in a situation where they were able to just get that first down. So you got to keep them out of those situations, keep them out of those 3rd and 4th and shorts, just keep them pushed back. I do want to ask about Nate Hobbs. Obviously, he's been hurt all off season. Was he out of practice yesterday? What's expectation for him for week 1 here against the Lions?
He was out there yesterday. He wasn't doing a lot of workouts. He was more on the side, doing some, rehab and things of that nature. But, he was dressed out. And He's kind of slowly but surely moving around. He's not avoiding media. He's answering questions. He's out there. So I'm not sure how much, he will play. Again, it kind of goes back to Wednesday and Thursday. Those are those crucial days for these players to get a feel for, where they stand into game day.
Sure.
So when you throw him into the mix, it's just another physical player. And then you throw him in the secondary. Again, it adds to what this defense can be. They can be creative. They can be physical. They can do so many different things. So Hobbs, over the next couple of days, these are going to be some crucial, times for him and crucial days to see how he's feeling and to see if he'll be able to go week 1.
Yeah, Dominique Yates joining the Mason Crosby show. Do you think like Micah Parsons has to be on a snap count, right? In this first game, especially with the Sunday to Thursday coming up, right? Like they're probably you're going to have to be intentional and be smart with some of these guys early in the season. I could see Nate Hobbs even having like limited reps, just in these games just to try to preserve them for the season. If that's the case, if Nate Hobbs doesn't play the whole game or is a little limited, Micah's not playing the whole game. Like, who are those guys that are, filling in those spots? Like, who's that third guy for, Nate Hobbs? Is that Valentine? Is Bo Melton going to get a look? Is he going to play some on Sunday and Thursday? So, yeah, just kind of fill us in on, like, the depth at those positions if those two guys are limited.
I think that's the good thing and a good question. Even though, like I said, you don't have Nate Hobbs, you should feel good about your starters on the outside. Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine, they played a lot of ball together. And I guess even not having Jair Alexander last year, it's like a blessing in disguise because it allowed those two guys to get a lot of playing time.
Sure.
So they had really solid camps and they performed well. They had takeovers. They were battling. It was fun to watch Keyshawn Nixon and Matthew Golden go through one-on-ones in camp, and Romeo Dobbs and Carrington Valentine. Like, those guys went to war each and every day when they did one-on-one competition. So you should feel good about your starters. And, Bo Melton, it's fascinating with him because I asked Brian Gutekunst, did it surprise you at all about what he did at corner? And he said the one thing that probably surprised me is that there wasn't a moment where he just looked lost, where he looked like a fish out of water. He wasn't out of his assignment. So I think he's a guy, he's just a smart football player who plays hard, who just understands the game. So I could see him out there getting a few snaps and getting a few reps out there. But as far as your starters, you should feel good with that, plus Javon Bullard in the nickel slot. So your starters, you can say in that secondary is intact, obviously, with Xavier McKinney and Evan Williams on the back end well.
For sure.
Dominique Yates joining us here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. You have up on your Twitter page, and a lot was made about it, the question to Matt LaFleur last week. Hey, do you know who's starting at left tackle? And he basically told us that he knew who was starting at left tackle, but he wasn't telling any of us who was starting at left tackle. Well, I don't know if Rashid was supposed to share that information or not. But what information did we get about left tackle yesterday, Dominique?
Rasheed Walker said he'll be the starting left tackle for week 1. And it was fascinating because, like I said, the question was asked. He just said, yes. And then, any more questions, please? So I thought that was great. And, that was a really fun competition to watch. And, again, this isn't, we don't know if it's set in stone. That was just what Rasheed Walker told us. But other than that, this was a great competition at left tackle, and Jordan Morgan made Rasheed Walker earn the starting job if he in fact got it. Because over a few weeks ago, they weren't really sure with Jordan Morgan. He played some guard, he played some tackle. And then when Rasheed Walker is hurt, you saw Jordan Morgan play a lot of snaps at left tackle, and he played really well. He was solid in preseason. He was good in camp and in the competitions. And obviously, Walker, he came back and, he did enough to earn the starting job according to him. So that was a fun competition to watch. But, who knows if you see them rotate.
I got a conspiracy theory. Mason,
here it is.
Yeah. We wouldn't do the show if I didn't have some crazy left field theory, right? Did Rasheed Walker win the job because he played in college with Micah Parsons, and they want Micah to feel comfortable and happy and his buddies to be happy, and that just goes to camaraderie
No.
and
No.
no?
The answer is no.
The answer is no. That is not how.
But we can
Thunder,
throw it out there.
That is not how pro football works. You're an idiot. Shut up.
I'm about to say it was either that or the 30-plus starts he already had.
Jordan Morgan, we're going to see a lot of Jordan Morgan, but I think it's smart. Yeah, start Rasheed Walker. Jordan Morgan's going to start at some point this year. I mean, it's just inevitable. You're going to have somebody banged up. There's going to be a situation where he's going to be on that offensive line. So, yes, I think you have to play Rasheed Walker. Kind of my final thought to you, Dominic, is that, with where this cap is now, you bring in Micah Parsons. You're carrying, all this dead cap with Kenny Clark. They are over the cap at the moment, right? In spending. And we talk about Keyshawn Nixon, you got to make a decision with Quay Walker. This team is going to look different next year unless they find a way to maneuver and, get some space there. So, I mean, we talk about pressure, and I said, there's a lot of freedom now with this for this season, but there's got to be a lot of pressure too for LaFleur and Goody to get the job done this year, because they're going to have a lot of work to keep this team intact and be what they are expected to be this year moving forward. So where do you think that lies? Obviously, with Ed Policy not giving those 2 extensions and all of that, I mean, do you think they're feeling the pressure to go out there and really make an impact, chase a Super Bowl this year? It's we've been talking about 2025 for a while being the year for LaFleur and for this team, with Jordan Love in his 3rd year, all of that. Do you feel like that pressure is there?
Oh, absolutely. And, you mentioned that policy, not extending Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst. And he said he doesn't like coaches or GMs to go into that lame duck year of their contract. So this is the year to show it. And honestly, there's no excuses anymore. We talked about, maybe they didn't have a pass rush. They didn't really invest in it. They're hoping Lucas Van Ness and Rashawn Gary to perform. But now you throw in Micah Parsons.
Hope's not a strategy. We know that. We know hope's not a strategy.
Exactly. So you filled in, you added in one of the best defensive players to a defense that was top 10 last year. You went out in the 1st round and you drafted a talented wide receiver. You have Josh Jacobs, who is one of the best running backs in the NFL. You have a good starting O-line. Jordan Love is going into year 3 as a starter at quarterback. And then the receivers, Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Romeo Dobbs, even Malik Heath. They played a lot of football now. So
for sure,
this is the year to produce. So, I think they're in that Super Bowl or bust discussion. And this is the year to do it while some of these other teams are figuring things out, like the Lions figuring out, what's it going to look like with coordinators. And the funny thing is with the Packers losing Kenny Clark and adding Micah Parsons, they got younger, but they got more talented. Yeah. And so that's a great position to be in right now. So this year is crucial for them, and they have to make a run for Matt LaFleur, Brian Gutekunst, and even some of these players to feel good about their futures in Green Bay.
For sure. I think bare minimum is you dominate and you win the North. You got to get back on top there. And obviously that creates all the things that you want. You go and you dominate and you win that division, you get to where you want to be. And then, the team that, we're talking about this matchup against the Lions, all that, but the Minnesota Vikings are the team that's scary to me because they have been under the radar, right? They were a really good football team last year. Their defense is excellent. They do a lot of, they have one of the best wide receivers in the game. They can run the ball effectively, but there's question marks at the quarterback position, but they have a great coach. They have a great team. So that Minnesota Vikings team is the team that I feel like is normally where the Packers are. Now with this trade, the Packers have just become that team. And now it's all these teams are chasing them. So what do you think? Do you think the Vikings probably are that team that, that the Packers are going to have to deal with the most? Or do you think it's still the Lions that, that this Packers team has to get over that hump and get back into dominant ways against the Lions?
I think the Lions, it's still the team to beat.
Still the team
in this division, not only because they're the defending champs, but even still, they're battling injuries right now. So they're still going to be a little shorthanded in week 1, but they still have those pieces. We talked about Jared Goff. We talked about the running back duo. Now Aiden Hutchinson is back and healthy, and Dan Campbell is still running the show, and he's proven that he is a very good coach. in this league. And even last year, I thought with all the injuries, they did a terrific job in
For
still getting to the playoffs, winning the division and more. So I think that's still the team to beat. Obviously, I'll go ahead and say I think the Packers will win the division this year. That'll be my early prediction. But I think that the Lions, they have to take care of business. So, week 1 is going to be fun and crucial. It's a long season, but you got to take care of those games, win that division, because you won home playoff game, especially in Green Bay. Mason, you know better than me. So I'm sure teams hated coming to Green Bay to play in the cold. So, you got to take advantage of that.
Well, Dominic, that's what I'm just imploring, like, fans. Yes, awesome. We have Micah Parsons. You know what helps a pass rusher as well is a loud stadium. Mm-hmm. So bring it on Sunday, like defend Lambeau Field.
Get crazy.
Yeah, don't sell those tickets to Lions fans. Like, make it hard on Jared Goff, because the question mark with Jared Goff now is he doesn't have Ben Johnson. Like, was Jared Goff great because Ben Johnson put him in positions to be great? So there's going to be, he's going to have to answer some questions as well. And the more you can stress him out with noise and all of those things, that is the Lambeau Field advantage. And we had to do that. So this game is important. I can't wait, though, as we get into the season. I mean, that Thanksgiving Day game could be just an epic game as we get deeper into the season. So awesome. Dominique Yates with the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. You can find him. What else you got going? If you got anything to plug, how can everybody see your stuff? And, before we let you go.
Yeah, you mentioned it's on social media. We have all kinds of content that is on the Journal Sentinel on PackersNews.com. We have the Green 19 podcast that I do with my coworkers, Ryan Wood. I know you've had him on the show.
Yeah. Yep, sure.
Tom Silverstein. We do a weekly podcast after games and the week going into the game. So we'll have one coming up on either Wednesday or Thursday. So find me on social media. We podcast every week. We have stories. So the season's here, though. I'm ready for it. This is my second season with the Packers, so I'm ready for it.
Nice. Awesome. Well, appreciate you, Dominic, and we'll have you on again sometime. Thanks for jumping on today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Good talking to you guys.
All right.
You as well. Dominic Yates joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. I mean, it's like, it's Dominique, but it's everybody, Mason. Like, literally everybody we talked to this week, we're just going to get more and more fired up. Like, Sunday can't come fast enough.
Slow boil. Let's get this thing cranking. It's almost here. I mean, as soon as the game's played on Thursday, it's just going to be like you're just holding your breath, just getting ready for this thing.
On a scale of 1 to 10, personally, how much you rooting on Kenny Clark Thursday night? Like, not Cowboys or Eagles or whatever, but like Kenny, who's your teammate for so long. Like, how much you cheering on him to play well?
I'm cheering heavy for Kenny. I'm a big Cowboys fan this week. You want them to knock off the Eagles, get them started off on a bad foot and get a bad taste in their mouth. And do I think it's going to happen? No. But I will be rooting for the Cowboys at least 1 week this year, and it will be on Thursday night.
All right, well, we got our weekend wrap-up coming up. We got a lot of college football talk to get to and just go over some of those results, some normal, some expected, some crazy. And, it's... I
mean, I haven't looked at a lot of the other numbers, but, I mean, Wisconsin, they're the only team that, shut anyone out in the Big Ten, right?
I mean, they literally have
they're the best team in the Big Ten. Yeah.
The best defense, at least.
Yeah.
I don't know about the best team, but the best defense, and that's not even debatable. Like, that's literally fact.
Fact.
Right.
Didn't even let anyone score. I mean, they're amazing.
We'll get to college football coming up. Want to remind everybody that football is back. Underdog's the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Play right now. It's easy. Just pick your favorite players if they'll go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Will Jalen Hurts get a tush push? Will he get a rushing touchdown, or will Saquon get all the rushing touchdowns? We don't know Thursday night, but we're all going to find out together. Play along that game. Play along Friday night with me as well, as it's Chiefs and Chargers. It's going to be a blast all weekend long. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code ThunderMKE to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code ThunderMKE. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 18 or over and present in Wisconsin. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncbgambling.org. This is the Mason Crosby Show. I'm Mitch Thunder Nellis. New programming alert. I'm hosting Middays with Thunder starting today, 11 to 2. I've got Camille Davis on the show. I've got Jared Fialco from WISN Channel 12 coming up. We got some deep Brewers we'll get into. And, of course, it's game day with the Packers. And, Mason, it's game week. I mean, I know Tuesday's Human Tuesday, and Tuesday's like that calm before the storm. But as a fan, my brain is storm already. I'm ready to run through a wall right now.
The thunder is rumbling.
It is.
Yeah.
But
what is the weather
right?
there? What's the weather there in Milwaukee?
The weather here in Milwaukee, it's really nice out.
Yeah,
blue skies.
I saw it was 74 degrees there.
I think we're getting up to 76 maybe. It is like
beautiful.
Picture perfect all day long.
I mean, watching practice yesterday, I'm like, it's football time. I mean,
are you still hot? Are you still hot down in Nashville?
No, it's nice. I mean, it's 80s.
Okay.
Again, I was on the lake yesterday, so that was nice. Yeah, went swimming, did all.
Were you with the Crosbys?
Yeah, had the 4 girls out yesterday morning. Just I was telling Tommy joined a boat club. So it's like a boat. It's like a golf membership, but for boating.
Hold on. Time out. Tommy.
I know. Bougie.
What do we do with this?
Where
do we go?
It was a good deal. I had to do it. I mean, it was like,
okay, all right.
I don't even have to pay dues until April.
I had to buy the Lamborghini. They gave me $50,000 off.
Oh gosh, right.
I chose to ignore it. I chose to keep moving on.
Now that Mitch is here, you're gonna show off.
I'm not. That Mason Crosby bought the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. I am not going to comment
to choose
on
which
it.
one I want to take out.
It is.
Actually, for real, the only thing this makes me feel, Mason, is that even more, Tommy and I need to drive down to Nashville and hang.
I'll take you out on a boat.
Right,
well, why don't you just throw the boat on the Mississippi and come right back up here? We'll meet you there.
All right. Yeah, we'll take a little boat.
So do we have to drive over then to La Crosse?
Is that a quicker drive to La Crosse than to Nashville, right?
No, Southwest. Just bump down to Nashville. I'll take you out on a boat. Yeah, I'll even let you choose.
Look, I also chose to not say anything because I do love boats as well. It
was nice. I just realized I'm like a lake person and a boater. I mean,
you should.
This weekend, just like I'm a mountain. I love the mountains and I love the lakes.
So you love outdoors. Ready. That's actually
we're gonna make the Prestige Worldwide music video.
Exactly. That's all I'm thinking about.
Get the kids off their screens. Get them outside.
Oh, it was so nice. Yeah, we're just listening to music, jumping in the water. They have these little cliffs, different heights, and they're jumping off of that, like so they kind of get out, get to do some things that are exciting for them. Like that's fun. It was the best. I was like, we are going to be boat people from now on because it was so nice to be out there and not have screens and not have anything kind of distracting us from family time.
Remember, we're on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee, and we do have a comment. There's a comment section on YouTube, and we invite everyone who's out there. I'm a big check-in guy, so just roll call, just like name and where you're from. 414 Deckers writes in Taco Tuesday. Does your family do Taco Tuesday? Are you guys Taco Tuesdayers?
We
Mason?
traditionally do, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we love those having set things every week. I feel like we eat the same thing
menu planning
Monday through Friday.
It does make menu planning easier, doesn't it?
Exactly. And everyone expects it. Taco Tuesday is the best. So we'll probably be crushing some tacos tonight. You change the protein all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, everyone likes shrimp tacos around here.
Big Rumble. Big Rumble is in for some grilled shrimp tacos.
Oh, I love some shrimp tacos. Yeah.
So speaking of the best, it's probably Ohio State and not Texas. Is Ohio State the best team in the country right now? Is it LSU? Is it Florida State, or is it the Wisconsin Badgers? Or Georgia Tech? Is it Georgia Tech?
I mean, my number at 7 wins for Wisconsin is looking better and better. I mean, Alabama's trash. They're going to beat them. Ohio State. I mean, I don't even know if that's not a W now. So I feel like who's better on defense in Wisconsin at the moment? Nobody. We're the best defensive team in NCAA football. UNC not good. Not good. Bill Belichick. I mean, did you see the end of that? His press conference. They had all these balloons and stuff, and they're like what? Man, it looked like a 5-year-old birthday party,
right? Or a gender reveal. It's like, we're having a boy. Jordan's having a boy.
They brought everyone out that ever went to North Carolina to watch that beat down. I mean, how good did they look on that first drive? They were awesome, and then they just were not after that. I'm sure Belichick is just staying steady, doing his thing, but that was bad. And
10 teams get pitch shutouts in week 1.
Okay.
10.
Yeah.
So the Badgers
Wisconsin's
are tied in the top 10. Purdue also pitched a shutout. I don't know who they must have played like somebody terrible because Purdue is awful.
Oh yeah, but the Badgers didn't play someone terrible when they shut.
No, Miami, Ohio was supposed to be okay.
Ohio's not bad.
They were like 9-5
Do you think
last
they
year,
beat
bro.
Middle Tennessee State this week?
The Badgers or Miami
as a win?
I mean,
Do you count
possibly
this week
yes.
a win? Okay,
I can
all right.
feel a little bit more confident about the Middle Tennessee game because
So if they
of how
go 2-0,
performed.
like didn't you say they were going to get 4 wins? Wasn't that? So if they're
Yeah.
2-0, like
Yeah.
do you feel like that number? I mean, that's
No,
Nope.
I still
Still-
feel for them.
still feel 4.
No.
I think maybe they can get to 5, but
But you said they were going to lose to Miami over Ohio.
Oh, I did, yeah, and
so,
I
I feel like that's a steal.
they
That's a
didn't
win.
cover the spread against a
I have-
trash MAC team.
relax. Trash.
Like I am,
They're not
totally,
a trash MAC team, man.
dude.
They're not. You know they're not.
I'm telling you
They're a
that
decent MAC team.
you cannot tell fans that you should feel good about that game against Miami of
Right.
Ohio. You are doing a disservice as radio hosts to give any sort of faith towards the Wisconsin Badgers football program.
That's
right
all I
now.
have, man. I just have hope and faith and just love for the Badgers.
Who did
I think
BYU
they're going
play
to be
this
all
week?
right.
So the Wisconsin,
BYU's good. I think BYU's are going to be.
so the Badgers gave
really
up
good team.
34 yards this week.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Even
BYU
against a
BYU
bad
played
team.
Portland State. They gave up -5
No way.
yards on the day.
But Portland State on.
I know.
That's
That's not a real team.
What was that? Who played Charleston State? I think it was Vanderbilt. Maybe played Charleston State. Yeah, it was like, gosh, what are y'all doing? I mean, those like I guess it's good for Charleston State. Like they pay him to come play.
Clemson only got 31. Oh, I'm looking at rushing yards total. Never mind.
Okay,
That's
there you go.
rushing yards, not total.
I think there is an argument to be
They gave
said.
up 51 total yards.
Do you think right now at this moment after week 1, Big Ten or SEC is the better conference?
I think
Great
the Big
question.
Ten is the best conference in the
Really?
country this year.
Yeah,
I
I
do.
don't know.
That was actually where I was going with this.
I know you were. I know you,
I
Tommy.
think that Texas, you cannot feel any sort of good about what
Nope.
you saw out of
I agree.
Arch Manning in
Arch
that
Manning
first
looked
game.
bad.
Terrible.
Some of his
And-
throws, it's just like they were wide open. Like that one where he's literally square to the line of scrimmage with his feet, and he just like slings the ball. Like it was like
with
he wasn't even getting hit. He wasn't getting pressure.
What's with his 3-quarter delivery? Like that.
I don't
like
know.
he's
Like, he
how
looked
they
shook.
not-
Like it looked
Right.
like a guy that didn't feel comfortable in the pocket.
How has
throwing the
Uncle
ball.
Peyton not taught him to hold the ball up by his ear and throw it from overhand?
I mean, how many times
on, dude.
were his feet just horrible? Like we talk about McCann, like it's like I'm not a quarterback, I'm not a quarterback coach, but I mean, everyone in the world can see that. I mean, the Uncle Rico references.
Yes.
Did you see all
Yeah.
those? I mean, that's what it looked like. Like it's not that far off. I mean,
No.
he's like square to the line of scrimmage, just like slinging the ball
Right,
out.
he's
there.
got like 5 yards. Like it's 3rd and 2, 4th and 2. He's got a guy 4 yards away. All he's got to do is put it there, and he's like Uncle Rico throwing
I
it as
know.
hard as he can.
But it
like,
was
what are
that.
you
It was
doing?
like where he was almost like surprised, and then the composure wasn't there to just step into the throw. Like it was like, oh, he's open. Like just get rid of it quick before I get hit or before the pressure gets there. Ohio State's a good team. Yeah, I mean their defense is
Absolutely.
electric. They're a good team, but I mean they had opportunities. I mean Texas. Like I think if Arch Manning plays how everyone expected him to play, Texas wins that game. Like I think defensively, like kind of what they are. But I have to ask that question too. Why was Texas the number 1 ranked? Was it because of Arch Manning? Why were they
Yes.
preseason number 1? Because they lost everybody. I mean, they lost their 2 best receivers. They lost their running back. Like
They lost their quarterback.
they lost their quarterback.
Even if they
who
think this,
I
right.
know it's like, why were they number 1? Like that to me just seems like a kind of a bad pick for the preseason.
It's
number 1.
because the AP is too busy bowing down to the SEC all the time,
and,
thinking
and the Manning name,
Right.
And the Manning
and
name.
thinking
it's not
that
just SEC,
that
it's Manning
is
name too.
the best conference. I do not think that is the best conference anymore in college football, and it hasn't been for a couple of years now. The champion has not come from the SEC since Georgia won the chip. Now,
good point.
in
That's a good
between
point.
there, it's Ohio State and Michigan. Bryce Underwood didn't look terrible for an 18-year-old kid, so that should give you a lot of confidence for Badger fans out there when that game comes about. And on top of it, Penn State's going to be a great program.
Yep,
And
they're good.
Alabama, like the worst loser of
bad.
the week, man. Like that. I don't care
Yeah.
if you think Florida State was underrated.
Right.
Kalen
Alabama
DeBoer.
was bad.
Kalen DeBoer is now outright 4-4 in games which he is favored by 14 or more points.
Yikes.
He is 4-4.
Alabama
I think
fans.
the thing was
Alabama
the
fans
effort.
yeah.
The effort. Like you saw guys just like jogging to the ball.
Right.
Like, and that is not Alabama football.
No.
Their style of play is just relentless effort and energy because you're going to get replaced. Someone made a great point though, and this goes to always our 1020, this segment, the fifth segment of the day, is like the transfer portal, all that. Like you don't have like Alabama players. Like it's like you got guys coming from other teams all over the place. It's like you don't have guys that like a Nick Saban would bring in, and it's like you were playing for Alabama. Alabama is the most important thing. Like come here and we will get you to the NFL. Like now it's just like every other team. And I think that was why Alabama was so dominant and so great for such a long time, is because they were just built from the ground up. You are an Alabama football player and you're going to go dominate and you're going to play a certain way. And it just is not that anymore. And
But even with that, Mason, it's still surprising that even the guys they're bringing in or the younger guys, that they're not still just playing out, whether DeBoer stinks or not, that the guys aren't playing Alabama football. That you would think you put on that jersey and that's a surge of energy that like should at least you should see
it's
the
a culture,
effort
it's
there.
a demand. Yeah,
Right.
you're just not seeing it. How about the Florida State tight end that was a fifth-year senior and he started at Florida State, transferred to another school, and then ended up back in Florida State.
Love it.
I saw another guy that had been, I think, is on his sixth team. He's a redshirt senior and now has like transferred to his sixth team,
Yeah,
which is wild.
These stories are not just nuts. Like
it's just
college
getting
sports
crazy.
needs to be stopped, right?
It should be, yes.
Right.
Something needs to happen.
Did you guys see the ads they started playing now during these games about legislation with college football during this? There was some games that had ads on talking about how these bills need to now be passed to save college athletics. Like the NCAA is now getting into the politics advertisement game because of how they feel about this.
Arch Manning had a, like a reading, like a glasses advertisement. Maybe he needed to be wearing those.
Well, I was just going to.
That was an issue.
He should be on federal charges. What Arch Manning does to this Texas program,
Well,
if his NIL contract is this.
I know
right
Quinn
now.
Ewers is made the Dolphins, but can he now after week 1? Can he go back to North Carolina? Can he take that? Can he now go back and
take that deal?
Right,
Sark is asking if he can come back at this
Seriously,
point. Like, what
bring
do you
him back.
mean? Yeah, this isn't even.
Goodness.
This is a problem for the SEC right now. Obviously Georgia takes care of business week 1, but the Big Ten, maybe the depth of the SEC is better than the depth of the Big Ten, but the top guys are 100% the best programs in the country, and they all come from the Big Ten right now.
Yeah, the Big Ten is going to be good. Again, I think BYU is going to be a good team. Like I think they spent some money this year too. Like if we whatever we feel about NIL, I think they went and they got some players. So BYU is going to be tough. My Buffaloes.
I was just going to say, we're going to bring up.
Good.
Yeah, we're going to bring up
They're
that.
not good. No, I mean,
Are they going to retire?
I don't even know what Dion does there. Like he. No, but like as far as like you watch him on the sideline, they show him. I mean, they're in like 2 minutes and he's just sitting there with his arms crossed, just watching the game. You know, I'm like, what does he do during the game?
He
Like,
manages he delegates.
He just delegates.
He lets
He's
everybody
just got
else.
everyone else.
Is
calling
Kadon
things.
Salter on his way to his number getting retired after this season as well?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
feels like he should probably be 0-1 is like a pretty good start to get that happen.
I mean, honestly, he didn't look bad. I don't know. Yeah, like we'll see what they end up being. Checking around some other leagues. Liverpool. They won. They beat Arsenal, which I know y'all were watching that
That's a
one,
big one.
Sunday morning. It was a big one. So
I don't know
top of the
anything
table.
about it, but I know it's a big one.
I was on my boat during that.
Get
sorry.
this. Guess how much the Premier League spent in transfer fees this year. So in soccer, you pay a transfer fee to another team just to get the rights to sign a player. Guess how much the Premier
was
League spent?
Mbappe involved? Because didn't he get
Mbappe wasn't.
okay.
How many Micah Parsons contracts?
$426 million.
$3.5 billion.
Yep. That's
And
just for the rights to negotiate.
Liverpool alone spent $600 million.
Is it paying off?
I mean, they're winning every game, but
Well,
yeah, I mean, they better start scoring some goals because they just signed another guy, an attacking guy.
Crazy.
So, the business of sports is good. It's solid right now.
Yeah.
Like sports around the world are, they're not losing money. Let's just say that. If you can spend $600 million just to get the rights to sign players, sports are doing all right as a business at the moment in the world.
No doubt. You ready for Mason's extra points, Mr. Crosby?
I'm ready. It's week. Yeah, it's NFL week
It's
1.
game
The
week.
Packers. It's game week. It's Human Tuesday. We're ready for it all.
I love it. He's Mason Crosby. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Remember, coming up at 11, it's Middays with Thunder. Don't go anywhere. We are staying live and local all day long, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. from now on, because we love you, the fan of all of our local teams. That's right. It's the Mason Crosby Show. Nice
That's
shirt.
right.
Nice
It is. Thank you.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today? It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Oh, what a great show we had today. It is Tuesday. I hope everyone had an awesome Labor Day weekend. We had Dominic Yates on from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel at the 10 o'clock hour. Remember, you can check all of us out on YouTube. You can go to the Fan Milwaukee. This is a podcast as well, so make sure if you missed it, if you're just hearing from us right now, you can go back and check it all out. We had an awesome show at the end of last week with Andrew Brandt, catching up on all the things that happened with the Micah Parsons trade and the implications for this team. I'm so excited. It's game week. It was weird yesterday and like these last couple of years on Labor Day, not being out there practicing, but it was awesome to be with the family, and I'm getting geared up, ready for this season. I'm so excited. It's going to be a fun weekend. I know it's alumni weekend there in Green Bay, and they got to take care of business. They got a tough Lions team coming in. A few unknowns, obviously, with the coordinator. They have Aiden Hutchinson's back, so they're going to have, their pass rush is going to be electric again there for the Lions. So I think this Packers team, my first early take, they have to run the ball well. They have to control the clock. Let this defense just do its thing. Play a field position game early in this one, and then just try to open it up in the second half. Let Jordan Love eat. Let these receivers eat. I'm excited to see Matthew Golden in some live action. I don't know. We're gonna do predictions on Friday, right?
Yeah,
so, we're bringing it back. Yeah, okay. I won't give my early take on what I think this game's gonna be, but I'm excited for this one. Let's keep this thing going. Mitch is rolling.
I am.
Mitch is rolling 11-2. Don't miss
right.
that.
Middays
Stay
with Thunder.
tuned for that. Middays with Thunder.
Mason, that was the one thing I meant to ask Dominique is I think a lot of people on social media yesterday were like, oh, it's kind of weird. Micah Parsons wearing number 1. Did we see pictures of Golden and 0?
I didn't see any. I don't know that I saw any of those. It was just all Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
I just saw Micah Parsons and I saw Jordan Love trip and fall, and that was about it.
And then I saw Rasheed Walker in the locker room saying that he's starting.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all.
Which I think is a good thing. It's good to have. It's good to have too many offensive linemen. You can never have too many, but it's good to have options there.
All right, my friend. I'm on for the next 3 hours.
All
so
right,
let's
buddy.
keep it rolling. Mason, you have a great Tuesday, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
All right, keep crushing it. Appreciate you.
Hey, I was.
All right.